So the piece is called Morphogenic Angels, and it's a game that is about 1 hour long. It's using a Xbox controller, and we also have some video work in a glowing ball pit.
The game follows the story of two characters called Yaksu and Anamtu, and they're morphogenic angels from the future. So the game is set in a world that is maybe 1,000 years in the future, maybe even more, where humans are now referred to as morphogenic angels because they have evolved to have
they've re-engineered their cells with other species or different forms of existence, so whether that is extraterrestrial or plant life or animals.
Yeah.
And the idea is that in the future they are now referred to as angels. Their kind of cosmic goal is to explore and expand all kinds of consciousness, so therefore they are constantly merging their consciousness with other different entities. It was really important for us to create a very welcoming and immersive space. So as Keiken is experienced, it's really important for us to be able to allow the audience to really get lost when they come into the work, and it's really important that there is no expectation for the audience. So often when you go to play a game, sometimes it can be quite intimidating or scary, so we really thought carefully about this, and also you can feel not in your own body. So for us it's really important that the space is very sensory and accessible. So the work is an installation, and the installation comprises of a big projection of the game, and if you're playing the game, you can obviously play it, but then the audience, they can watch it as if it's a film, because we have a special camera system that we made so that the audience, so it always looks like a film when someone is playing it.
The gameplay is very cinematic in that sense.
And storytelling as well.
Yeah.
And then there is a cellular seating configuration and structure with a giant glowing ball pit. And there are smaller pits of sand and glass. And the idea of this is that it all refers back to this like micro and macro cell structure.
So the seating configuration, which is in this cellular form, it also has these different modular kind of configurations within it that allow the audience to sit in whichever way they find comfortable. So it's about the seating being something that's inviting, but it allows people to sit in any way that suits them.
Mm-hmm. And then the ball pit is so much fun, so it makes everyone become childlike again, and also the weighted things, cool weighted things, is so good for you. That's why water's so good for you. But the ball pit is actually incredibly calming, and because it's glowing, it's really magical.
It feels like swimming without going underwater.
Yeah.
But it was really important for us to create an installation or an environment that was sensory and invites people to have their own space within the work and find out, kind of take from the work what feels right for them.
So even if you are just playing with, there's a smaller sand and glass pit, and you can just touch the sand and glass if you want to. You can go into the ball pit and watch the film. You could watch the game as a passive observer, or you could play the game, or you could just fall asleep in the installation if you like.
It's also an installation is kind of lavender scented as well, also to kind of create this calming space that, like Hannah said, you can just take a nap if you like.
Because we well build, the work is so intricate and complex, and we are thinking of so many ideas when we are trying to make the work. But it's really important for us that when people come into the space, that they can take what they want from it. So that's why the space is trying to be playful and really immersive for people, so they can decide what they want to do. Often when you play games, you can detach yourself from the body, but for us it was really important that the game and the installation makes you feel more in your body, so you feel grounded and present.
A big part of our practice as Keiken as well is creating experiences for audience that invite them outside of their everyday reality or the world that we live in. So being able to create an environment that does that through narrative, but also with your body within the actual installation is really important to us. So hopefully it works.
So for us, what is really special is we really love the kind of hybrid of technology with fashion and architecture, because this is something we are always thinking also within our practice, and it's really important to merge these things together. So that's one thing that is super special to us.
And the other thing that we really love about the whole experience of not just the exhibition but the museum as well is the actual architecture and the way in which that you encounter the works, because the architecture doesn't have the format of your typical museum where it's things in rooms and corridors. It's very playful, so you're kind of invited to wander around and get lost into the works and create your own thread and your own narrative between the different works themselves. But
yeah, and also going in between, because there are works on the outside and the inside. So the direction that you take is even more playful.
And it's very organic as well, I think, and it creates a whole world within the exhibition. That's
So within our work, it's really important because we are trying to postulate the future and think about how the world could be, or how are we going to grow in the future. So it's really important to us that we do not confine the way that we think reality is. So we're always thinking about, so the probability of seeing reality as it is zero. There's no way you can see reality. So if this is true, then maybe we should never think, reality is one way. Maybe we can see it completely differently. So not to feel so confined. And I think for us, it's always about trying to allow audience to come into our space and not saying you must think the way that we think, but it's to invite them to see the world differently for a moment, and to see the world differently, you need to feel connected. So it's always our work, we're trying to make people feel connected to themselves and connected to each other in the space, and it's really not like, our message isn't to make anyone do anything. It's
think a specific thing.
Please have some feeling. Just have some feeling in the space. Like if you can, it's not if you can. It's like hopefully it will gently make you, even without noticing, you will feel something.
And we just invite you to play in the space as well, and not be afraid. Usually in artworks you're not supposed to touch things.
You can touch everything, I promise.
We invite you to touch things, and we invite you to spend time with the work. And even if you're just listening and you're sitting in the ball pool, then we hope you enjoy it, and we hope that the experience will feel very full.